to DCS P51D Startup Training. I'm Top Gun with the AKA War Dog Squadron. I'll be working off of checklist version 1.3, and you'll notice in that checklist there's a number of items in red text. Those entries mean that if you spawn in a new aircraft, those positions will already be in the correct position for takeoff or for startup. But if you subsequently land and for rearming or repair and you shut down your engine, when you go to restart it, those are entries that you will need to check to verify that they are in the correct position. So I'm going to go a little bit out of sequence. I'm going to go ahead and close the canopy so I'm not dealing with any engine noise. You'll normally not do this until you're ready to take off so that you can stick your head out the window as needed outside the aircraft so you can see better for taxi, along with doing a zigzag pattern so you can see what's in front of your aircraft. You can either keybind this or you can hover your mouse over where the crank handle meets the fuselage and you can mouse wheel. Those are the best ways to do it. Let's go ahead and put power to the aircraft, and after that it's just basically doing a big U pattern, just going from one end of the aircraft and working around to the other. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on battery and generator. So there's generator, there's the battery, and then we'll start at the left. So we'll go ahead and raise flaps to 0 degrees, and this will take multiple clicks. And you'll notice if you look outside that the flaps are not moving. That's because they're driven by the hydraulics, which is provided by the engine. So those will not raise until the engine is started. So carburetor ram air control is kind of hidden underneath this piece of fuselage here. That's all the way forward. Carburetor hot air control, that's already in its correct position, full forward. And you got coolant radiator flap up to automatic, which is this one right here. Then oil radiator flap up to automatic. And you'll want to probably keybind the manual open positions for both of these switches. I fly with these guards down and I have open on both of these set on my HOTAS so that when I'm about to get into a fight, I can go ahead and crank these to full open if need be. The automatic feature for both of those does not seem to really be sufficient to keep the engine cool in the event of a heavy dogfight. So if you know you're going to be pressing your engine hard, you may want to manually open these. But for takeoff, you can go ahead and leave those in up and automatic. So left instrument panel lighting, if you want, you can, that's controlled by this rheostat on the left side. Go ahead and put that into up to on. And if you are operating at dusk or at night, you can turn on the landing light into the up to on position. And rudder trim, you're going to want 5 degrees to the right. So you can either click and hold and drag the mouse up, or you can mouse wheel over it. Aileron trim to 0, which it's set to by default. Elevator trim is anywhere from 0 to 4 degrees nose down, which is going to be forward. And that's going to depend on how much fuel you have. So if you're doing a long-range flight with drop tanks and a full fuselage tank, you want 4 degrees. If you're doing a short range with no tanks, external, and nothing in the fuselage, you'll want 0 degrees. And you can check the fuel state by leaning to the left to check your left wing, and down in the floor to check the right wing tank, and then up over your left shoulder for the fuselage tank, which is really hard to see. You can see that's set to 0 at the moment. And if you're doing a short range flight, you generally don't want any fuel in the fuselage tank because that will make your aircraft unstable. All right, so engine RPM control, you can probably need to move the throttle a little bit. That's full forward. Fuel mixture is the red handled knob here. That's already in the correct position. Go ahead and crack the throttle open about 1 inch or so. And go ahead and set your altimeter for local barometric pressure. It's already reading 0, so we don't need to adjust it. But if you do, the knob is on the lower left-hand corner. Go ahead and uncage your gyro. You can do that by mouse wheeling over this knob right here until the flag disappears. Set your parking brakes, so go ahead and press both of your toe brakes and hold them. Then pull out this T-handle and then let go of the toe brakes and then let go of the T-handle. If it works, then it should remain pulled out. If it pops back in, you'll have to try again. Fuel shut off, go ahead and put that into full forward position. And fuel selector valve, you can choose either left or right main tank. I just leave it set to the left. Fuel booster switch up to on. And magnetos, you want that full to the left for both. And moving on to the right side, the right hand internal lighting is controlled by that rheostat up to on. And we'll turn on the wing and tail lights. You need to right click on both of these switches. And let's go ahead and turn on our radio to ATC, which is going to be channel B. And these have to be done in the mission editor prior to the mission start. You cannot manually select a frequency with this radio. It only comes with 4 presets, which are done, again, in the mission editor. Let's go ahead and request a startup. So bring up your comms menu, and then F5 for ATC, and then F1 for your airfield, and then F3 for start.
Call key. Springfield 1-1. Request startup. Springfield 1-1. Call key. Cleared for startup.
Okay, let's go ahead and prime the engine. We'll do it for about 3-4 seconds. And then these next couple of steps are going to be done in rapid sequence. So we'll go ahead and flip the cover up on the starter switch. We're going to hit the starter until the engine catches, and then we're going to move the mixture knob down 1 position to the run position. And once you've confirmed the engine is running, you go ahead and throttle it back until the idle is between 12 and 1300 RPM. And you'll keep it there until the oil is registering a temperature of about 40. At this point, you can go ahead and verify that your flaps are now up, and you can go ahead and release your toe brake by pressing and releasing the parking brake by pressing and releasing your toe brakes. And when you see that pop back in, you see that the parking brake is now off. And that's pretty much it. At this point, you're ready to contact ATC for clearance for taxi, and you're good to go. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you.